Hello guys, David here. Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing fine and well. Of course, as you all know, the England series football's coming home is now finished. Therefore, we need to put something in place to fill up that Tuesday evening slot. It's not going to be a series. It's just going to be a couple of things I want to do. Obviously, Thursday night's filled up with For What It's Worth alongside the Tarantino, and obviously Monday, Wednesday, Friday is filled up with hometown heroes. So what we're going to do is a couple of little different things. They're going to be little bits and bobs, little oddities here and there. The first one we're doing is a out of contract summer 2021 11. Now, I'm not just going to tell you who to go and have a look at. I want to see how they get on in the same side as well. So what I've done is I've slotted them into a team in the Premier League, given them a tactic to work with, and we're going to holiday through to the end of the season to go and see how they get on. But first things first, let's jump in, roll the intro, show you the team. Alrighty then, we're into the save. As I mentioned, free agent 11 with a bit of a twist. We're going to run a whole season with these guys. I have got pretty much a full squad. There's a few people that I haven't got, so I do need to maybe beef it up a little bit, but I think we should be okay. We've got more than enough to field a full 18 for every game, barring any injuries, which of course, even with the in-game editor, which I've used to make this squad, can't really do much with it because you can't stop people getting injured annoyingly without playing every single game. I have taken over my Leeds United side, my beloved Leeds. I've gutted out the entire squad, which was quite difficult to do, I'm not going to lie. I haven't done the under-23s, as you can see, a couple of familiar names if you're familiar with Leeds sitting at the bottom there, but I have done the whole first team squad. Let's go and show you what we're working with. Custom tactic, if you like what you see, feel free to drop me a note in the comments. I'm more than happy to pop that on there. And while we're in there, slap a like and subscribe if you're new as well. That'd be amazing. It'd be really, really good to see if you could do that for us today. But tactic we're going with is kind of a 3-1-3-3, I suppose you'd call it. Or a 3-1-3-2-1. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But we'll start from the back. Big man in goal, of course. It's the one who never wants to sign a contract in this game for some reason. Gianluigi Donnarumma. Of course, he's going to be the starting goalkeeper. Apparently, he's 5-star, even though his rating's only 3. I don't really get that at all. Not going to lie. But, I mean, look at him. So well-rounded. Such a good goalkeeper. Fairly realistic as well. Not eccentric as I don't like my goalkeepers to be. Kiko Corsair. But, yeah, I mean, look at him. It's class act. And he will be brilliant to have at the back of this defence. Speaking of the defence, back three, as you can tell, we're not really blessed with a lot of central defenders. So I've kind of gone with the back three. I have got some more people you'll see. I'll kind of go to a brief overview of the subs bench in a minute. But I quite like the idea of this three at the back, especially with the inverted wingers on the wings as well, because they'll drop back and fill in some holes as well. But it's a back three of Eric Garcia, David Alaba and Sergio Ramos. Garcia and Ramos are playing as ball-playing defenders either side. As you can see, I mean, look, even for a 19-year-old, he's going to be class. Such good stats on him, really good ball-playing defender. Could play as the libero as well in the middle, but I've elected to play Alaba as that instead. Ramos, I mean, you know what he's like. 20 heading, 20 determination, ridiculously good player. Probably past his best. He's probably only really got one season for us, but I mean, amazing. I say one season for us, like I'm going to play this season myself, which I'm not. And then you've got David Alaba, as I mentioned, who's going to be playing as the libero. Of course, you'll know him as a left back or a wing back on the left-hand side. I understand that, but like I say, with what we've got, the fact that he can play in that central defence, I mean, look at his stats as a libero. He's covering pretty much all bases apart from flair, really. Otherwise, everything is a 12 or over, and that is really, really good. Especially, I'm looking at things like anticipation, concentration, pace at that back three, shifting in behind, doing those little bits in behind the two defenders is going to be really, really useful. So very pleased about bringing him in. Jorginho Wijnaldum's playing at the base of the midfield. He's typically seen further forwards, but I think he's going to do a really good job in that base. As a playmaker, you're going to start pinging balls around to the left and the right to people pushing forwards. So again, I mean, you know enough about him. I understand he's probably on his way to Barcelona in real life, but he's with us for now in this little experiment we're doing. In front of him, this was a tough one. Now, there is a couple of different options I've got here. I have got a few on the bench that I could have used as well, but I've gone with Hakan Çalhanoğlu as a box-to-box midfielder. Not his preferred role. Apparently it's his fourth best role, according to what the game says. But if you look at him, apart from the strength, he's really well set out for it. And I think, to be honest, that's what you tend to get from most players in when you get to this sort of level, they tend to be pretty good at everything in a roundabout way. But he's got the stats you need. He's got good technique, good passer of the ball, great work rate there. Sorry, vision was what I was looking at, but still decent work rate. Yeah, he'll do as a box office midfielder. Not perfect, but we were struggling a little bit in the centre of midfield, got to be honest. On the wings, who are actually the wrong way round, but it doesn't really matter a huge amount. We've got Draxler on the left, Julian Draxler, and Di Maria on the right, both from Paris Saint-Germain. As I mentioned, both playing as those inverted wingers. So they should drop back a little bit and just provide a little bit of defensive rigidity if we need to. I mean, the players won't, but the roles will, so that'll work. Obviously, yeah, well, I mean, Di Maria of Manchester United past time, didn't really do much, did he? What, 27 games apparently. Still really good though, again, getting a bit old, but I mean, look at those stats. So many in the greens, really, really class player. Draxler, a little bit worse, got to be honest. Still got some really good stats to him. Still great technique, good dribbler of the ball, good first touch, that sort of thing. Not as good, but still pretty decent. So we're happy with him. And then the front three is where it comes alive. I mean, Depay doesn't really bring it to life, but the other two do. So Memphis Depay on the left, don't get me wrong, he's not a bad player at all. He had a terrible run at Man United, but since he's joined Lyon, he's been really good. Cutting in on the inside, playing that inside forward role, cutting in, taking shots on his right foot. That's what he's going to be doing day in, day out. Centre forward is, of course, Sergio Aguero. I think he's probably one of the most likely ones to sign a new contract, if I'm honest. But then again, I don't really pay any attention to Man City, so I could be completely wrong. But of course he was going to go up top. And then, obviously, I mean, we all know that this guy's contract's running out in the summer. Lionel Messi on the right-hand side, playing as the trequartista, so he's going to be pretty much running wherever the bloody hell he wants. He can do anything, this man. And I'm going to allow him that license to roam as well. Look at all of those 20s. The man is a machine. Absolutely ridiculous. Should have scored way more goals for his country than he has in the appearances he's had. But he is going to be ridiculous on this right-hand side. You see, playing as the Trek, good finishing, dribbling, passing, technique, vision, flair, decisions, composure, anticipation, everything he needs for a Trek. He is an out-and-out trequartista. Gonna be brilliant. Bench-wise, we've got 8 on the bench, like I say, just to beef it out because I did try this save before and it didn't really work. We've technically actually got 10 players on the bench. Shift them in as well. I've literally just picked people out of contract just to beef up the squad a little bit, but there's some pretty decent players in there. You've got Vicente Guaita, obviously, of Crystal Palace, Ryan Bertrand of Saints, Michael Antonio, I didn't realise his contract was running out from West Ham, Milik, of course, a really good option to play up front, of course, running out of contract at Napoli, Sergio Oliveira, I don't know a huge amount about this guy until I looked at him, but again, he looks like a really tidy player. At least for this sort of level, he'll do a job in the middle of the midfield, so he can be a good backup for Çalhanoğlu if he gets injured. Garay, way too old and past his best for sure, but decent header of the ball, so he can play a bit of rigidity there. Diego Costa, who's currently out of contract, so he has definitely come straight into the squad. Again, I mean, he's a pressing forward day in, day out, isn't he? Look at those stats. He's clearly a pressing forward. Lucas Piazon, Chelsea's longest serving player, despite only having played like 1 game or something for them, which I read the other day. And then Lucas Fabianski and Adam Smith, formerly of Bournemouth. Again, literally just to beef up the squad a little bit. But anyway, enough about the squad. Let's go into the holiday screen. Let's tell what we need to do. We need to use the current tactics and we need to use the current team selection where possible. I have tried to do as much in terms of strength and depth as possible with the people who I recognise and I feel would do a job in the squad. So let's go forward. We'll go 6th of January. We'll come back halfway through the year. See how we get on. Right then, halfway into the season, I haven't had a look yet, but I can just tell roughly by what's going on the side of the screen that it's probably not been too great. Obviously, we're hemorrhaging money because we've got huge wage bills being paid for at the moment. I can just see at the bottom, currently 8th in the Premier League. Not the best in the world. I wonder if there's a reason behind that, though. Let's go and have a quick look. So, I mean, fairly similar to what Leeds have done in real life this year, to be fair. 8-1, 2 drawn, both against Man City and Liverpool, which is fairly admirable. And then defeats number is that of 7. How was I talking about there? Lionel Messi, top goal scorer. Unsurprisingly, best rating. Unsurprisingly, yeah. 2nd best in the goal stats so far, Messi. 3rd best in the average ratings. Anything else worth noting? Nothing really going on there. Liverpool, by far and away. Actually, to be fair, it's quite close at the top of the league. You've got the top five separated by 2 points. Then you've got the next 4 down to 9th separated by 2 points, or 1 point rather. So it's all pretty close to be fair. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility, given a nice little run, that they might get back into it. Now, if we look at the squad, yeah, I had a feeling this might be the case. A lot of players in need of a rest. Now, I think the reason for that is because I told the sim to keep the same team selection wherever possible. I'm going to re-sim the rest of the season, or I am going to sim the rest of the season, sorry, and I'm going to turn that off just to see how things change and see if that works, because we might well be seeing a lot of players being played in games that they probably shouldn't be because they're a little bit too tired. So we'll see a little bit of rotation play, because you can see here, you can see a lot of substitute appearances, but other than really Sergio Oliveira, no one's really, and so 2 players have come on and actually started games. Otherwise, it's been all the other guys. So we'll leave them to switch it around a little bit, give them a bit of a chance to rest them up or whatever. And we'll come back at the end of the season and we'll see how we got on. Right then, well, the end of the year is upon us. We're into the 27th of May. To be honest, I've had a quick look around. I'm not entirely impressed, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, considering the considerable clout of quality that we have in the squad. The team ended up finishing 7th behind Aston Villa, which is disappointing. Tottenham had their usual weird FM slump thing. The biggest thing I've noticed, because I have had a quick look around just to kind of see what's been going on, is the fact that there's a lot of wins, which is good. Only you count out the big 4, which were miles ahead of anyone else. Second highest amount of wins. Not so many draws. Fine, whatever. Lot of defeats though, and some pretty big ones as well. It's actually like watching Leeds in real life, weirdly enough. Yeah, it keeps you entertained. Annoyingly as well, if we'd have won either of the last 2 games, then they would have got into the Europa Cup as a Europa League as well. But clearly not going to happen. Lionel Messi finishing as top goal scorer. Should we have a quick look around? So a quick look in here. So yeah, as we mentioned there, finishing 7th in the league. Goals scored, we scored 72, conceded 64. So still a positive goal difference, which is fine. What were the last 2 games that they lost? Lost to Fulham and Tottenham. Again, such terrible teams that you've lost to in there, if you consider everything. And then Villa won both of theirs. So yeah, not really very good, especially considering they beat Villa before. So bottled the Europa League, it looks like there. Messi not even in the top 3, but he did get 20 goals, so he's presumably 4th. Aguero 5th. I mean, that's understandable. They did score a lot of goals. Messi 3rd in the average ratings. I can't imagine we're going to see Donnarumma up in the clean sheets. Joint 14th in terms of clean sheets. He's got 8 in 38 games. Not too bad, considering the amount of goals that they conceded. Let's have a quick look at the schedule. Scroll right back to the top. It was a pretty boring start to the season. Bit on and off. Defeat to Man United, defeat to Everton, beat West Ham. I mean, yeah, not a lot to report. Some pretty dodgy spells. Losing to the likes of Newcastle and Sheffield United and Brighton all in December is pretty poor. And look at that. In fact, they weren't actually winning at any point in that game. It doesn't look like. No, they were always losing. So that's. Oh no, they're 1-0 up. Take that. And look at this run. Just after the FA Cup, lost 5 in a row. That is woeful. And look at this, lost 6-0 at home to Everton. That is not good at all. A little bit of a run towards the end of the season. Clearly got them firing. And then, yeah, losses to Tottenham and Fulham in the last 2 games of the season. Bit disappointing, I think, is the honest thing to say. Yeah, look, I thought they'd do better. I'm not going to lie. I think the key, well, obviously the best performer clearly is going to be Lionel Messi. Donnarumma coming in 2nd, which is pretty good. Played every game by the looks of it. Sergio Aguero doing pretty well, 19 goals and 34 appearances. Sergio Ramos getting a couple of goals. You can assume they've come from corners. Eric Garcia played pretty well, and then everyone else really not that great, to be completely honest. Adam Smith, Gaeta and Fabianski didn't play at all, which doesn't surprise me that much. You can see the players started to get more game time because it started to rotate, which is quite interesting. So if we look at actual appearances, yeah, you look at Garay, Costa, Milik, Oliveira, all starting to get more games, but you can see there's such a big gap between them. But yeah, I mean, yeah, a little bit disappointing, to be honest. I thought we'd do a bit better. Yeah, clearly putting a team of free agents together and probably not having much cohesion, if we're going to have a look at that quickly before we finish off. good club atmosphere, good cohesion, fine, but not much else. Not the best in the world. I would have thought they'd done a little bit better. Yeah, a little bit disappointed if I'm completely honest. But there you go. That's an experiment done. That is a season with the class of 2021's free agents. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. If you did, hit the like button. That'd be great. If you did enjoy it and you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as well. Always going to be a helpful thing to do. And of course, as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Big thing I'd like to see in the comments, if you can, is some thoughts from you guys as to what you'd like to see experiments-wise or anything else going forwards, because I'm going to want to very much try and get this driven by you guys. And if there's any free agents you think we've missed as part of that, I think we've covered most of them, if not all of them. But if there's any others you think I've missed, let me know down there as well. But that's going to be it from me, guys. My name's been David. I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.